Are you familiar with a quote, become as little children? Yeah, we've all heard that. And I think Jesus recognized that as adults, we have a tendency to forget the wonder and the awe and the possibilities that we had as children as we were growing up. We're less than a week from Christmas. Next Saturday, it's here. And there's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm in the little ones right now, if you've been around any of them or out and about and shopping or anything like that. And they're filled with wonder and awe and possibility as they look around. Have you watched their faces? They just light up, don't they? They just light up. They're so excited about everything, the trees and the food and the toys and the lights and everything that is part of this holiday season, particularly Santa. Particularly Santa. Do you still have a sense of wonder and awe and possibility around this season? Do you still believe? My talk today is seeing the extraordinary. Seeing the extraordinary. And our reading this morning said that anything seen through the eyes of a child can become extraordinary. He talked about the matchbook car that can become an extraordinary adventure for a child. And do you remember in your own childhood maybe mud pies? Anybody make mud pies as a kid? Yeah, or building a fort and how you imagined building it and finding all of the pieces and parts and things that you needed and how things just had to seem to work out. And maybe if you played dress up and just immersing yourself in that tea party or whatever you were doing. And it was real, wasn't it? It was real when we were doing that. Maybe we had a stuffed animal that turned into a friend, a confidant, and a protector. But as we grow up, we get taught to let that stuff go. Don't be playing in that. We need to face reality, right? Someone's version of it, anyway. We all had vivid imaginations when we were kids. We could really immerse ourselves in play. Thank goodness no one told Walt Disney to stop doing that. It is said in his biography that he was drawing as early as the age of 3. He was drawing and selling cartoons before he went to school. He drew the horse of the local town doctor. He was doing fantastic things. He went on to form, of course, Disney World, Disneyland, and lots of movies and a theater company. He and his brother Roy formed Disney Brothers Studios out in Hollywood and was later become the Walt Disney Company. If you've ever been to one of the theme parks, you know how amazing it can be, even as an adult, to get taken away in a small world or attacked by the pirates of the Caribbean or zooming through Space Mountain. All of those things are wonderful places of imagination that we can just get taken away, even if for a brief time. We can become as little children at Disney, can we not? Yeah. The word imagination, I like words because I know the power of words. I like to know what they mean. And looking back on the word imagination, it comes from 2 words. It comes from the word image, which means picture, of course. And it comes from the word nation, which means to be born. To be born. Imagination. Birthing an image through us. So what are you imagining into existence in your life? Do you play with this power of your imagination? What are you imagining into existence this holiday season? Ernest Holmes, of course, is the founder of Centers for Spiritual Living. He's also the author of The Science of Mind, the philosophy that we teach from. And he says imagination is the power of our word. Don't think about that. Imagination is the power of our word. Now, if you've been around a while, you've probably heard me talk about how our prayers are most powerful when we believe that what we are praying about is already manifested in the invisible. We already know that it's on its way to us. We have that sense of belief and knowingness. Sometimes that can be pretty difficult to do, can't it? It can be challenging for us to believe something that doesn't exist in our lives, that we're not seeing in our lives, like healing in the face of sickness, financial abundance in the face of struggling month to month, week to week, day to day to survive, or had a romantic relationship or a job if there's nothing on the horizon in front of us that we see coming forward. It can be pretty challenging to believe that stuff, right? But yet we know that's where the power in our prayers and our affirmations and such is when we can believe that that is available to us, that it is coming to us, that it is created in the invisible. We must become as little children. They believe. They believe. And we see it all around us right now at this Christmas time. They want a bicycle. They believe they're getting that bicycle, right? It better be under the tree because I know it's in Santa's workshop right now and it's being worked on by the elves and the sleigh's probably getting loaded right now because it's only a week away. They believe. Do you have that kind of belief in what is seeking to be birthed through you? Do you have that kind of belief? If you have watched the movie or any movie or a show around the holidays, what has to happen? Anybody seen Santa Claus, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn? Yeah. Do we have to suspend our beliefs and reality at that to watch that movie and enjoy it? Absolutely. We got Santa Claus who's flying around on a souped up sleigh with reindeer. They live in the barn with the reindeer. What else happens? I'm giving it away. There's a star on top of a tree that powers the entire community of the North Pole. There are elves that transform and do all sorts of wild things. I mean, we have to suspend our beliefs and go into the realm of imagination to accept movies like that, don't we? A lot of any kind of movie sometimes, unless you're watching a documentary, and even some of the times you have to suspend your, your beliefs there too, right? Yeah, to move into that. I once saw a documentary years ago on the special effects of the original Star Wars movie, 1970s. Remember how impressed you were with that? It was a pretty impressive movie back in the 70s. But today, when we see those special effects and how they did it, it's like, wow, we've come a long way. And it took some of the magic away from that, but I can still enjoy the movie and I can still believe in the way that things are working. And the special effects have gotten so much better with the computers and things, of course. But it's all in the special effects. It's all in the special effects. So whether it's a Disney movie or shows, all of those things prove to us that we have imagination because we can suspend our beliefs in order to enjoy that show. If you've ever cried or laughed in a movie, it probably means you've suspended your beliefs and you've gotten involved enough with it that you can feel their pain and you can feel their joy and you're participating with what's happening on the screen. You've suspended your beliefs because they're not in the room with you, folks, right? We've suspended our belief in what's really right there. I was reading in The Science of Mind this week in preparation for this talk, and I wanted to see what Ernest Holmes had to say about imagination. It turns out he has quite a lot to say about imagination. And it's a key ingredient to the creative process. Did you know that? It's not in our 3 steps or our 5 steps, but it is a key ingredient within that. It's probably our most powerful faculty. And in reading through all that he had to say about it, what if our ability to imagine, our imagination itself, is actually the God particle within us That's the part of the divine that came with us, that allows us the ability to see and co-create with the universal spiritual system. We as humans can imagine. We can see things and make up things in our mind that are not there and are not real. And when we can do that while we're holding that idea and that thought, we begin to create and call that forward. We begin to attract it into our lives. On page 398.5, if you're following along, he says, Spirit is the very breath of our breath, the imagination back of our word. It is the creative power in our thought and the law and the energy that executes that thought. He's suggesting that spirit is our imagination. Have you ever considered that? Sometimes when we get answers and we think they're out of the blue, are they out of the divine? Oh, that just came to me out of the divine. Imagine changing that language up rather than out of the blue. He goes on in this section to suggest that if we were to make a complete mental picture of ourselves as we would like to be, filling in all of the details of our desire and accept the whole thing as a present reality, we would soon become that image. Wow. That's a powerful statement, isn't it? It's a powerful statement. It's the process of getting from desire to manifestation. It is that easy, but we do try to make it difficult sometimes. He's saying we have to know exactly what it is that we want in vivid detail. Can anybody say that they know exactly what they want in vivid detail? We get kind of fuzzy around the edges sometimes, but if we can get it dialed in really tightly, exactly what it is that we want, not from the process of outlining how it's going to get here and how it's going to happen, but what it is that we desire. Sometimes we go in and it's like, I want everything. I want it all. Well, we all want it all, and that's great. But in order to focus our energy, we have to get it into that more detailed idea of the what that I want that Ernest is talking about. He then says, picture it vividly in our minds, see it in living color, feel it, experience it, and then hold the focus of that image without getting distracted. How long can we focus on something? How long can we sit in meditation before our mind wanders off into the grocery list or what's for dinner or the to-do list of the day? Focus is an important part of this, is keeping it focused. I sometimes say it's kind of like placing your order at Amazon and then moving and forgetting to tell them where to ship your order. We've got to stay focused on what it is that we're calling in. And then to accept it as the present reality. And that's what I was talking about earlier. It's kind of hard to do that when it's not here. I'm calling in health. It's not here. It's not here. It's not here. Where is it? Where is it? And the where is it keeps it away, doesn't it? Because that's focusing on it, that it's not here. So we have to stay focused on what it is that we're calling in and forget that it's not here. Not always easy. Not always simple. We did it as kids, though. If you were out in the woods and you were going to build a fort, everything became a possible building tool, didn't it? Everything you saw. I might need that rock. I might need that branch. Ooh, that's a cool branch. Look at that piece. Everything we saw became building materials. If we were playing dress up, every old dress our moms had, and shoes and hats and jewelry, it became part of the ensemble. And we made up a story to go with every ensemble that we had. We had that power of imagination, and then to be able to stay focused in it and play in it for a while, hours perhaps, and then come back to it the next day and do it all over again. It's that power of imagination that we had as children that we need to refresh and bring back to the surface. It's a process of getting in touch with our desires and then spending time with them. And I think we get going so fast and running so hard that we forget to pause and spend time with our desires. Anchor in them, contemplate them, meditate on them, visualize them, be with them. It takes time. Ernest is very clear that it's about holding things in thought and not holding thoughts. Now think about that. Holding things in thought and not holding thoughts. So the things that you're holding in thought are the visual image of what it is that you're calling in, right? That's what he's saying. It's knowing what it is, see it vividly, hold it in your focus. It's the thing that you're calling in. Whereas holding thoughts is just thinking about that. And then we can get hooked into, well, how's it going to get here? Oh, that's not going to work that way. How could it work this way? Maybe it's going to work that way. Well, maybe that's a possibility. And we're limiting the millions of ways that it could come to us when we begin to do that. Holmes is also very clear about treatment in this section, and it's one of my favorite sections. He says we should be careful to distinguish daydreaming and wistful wishing from really dynamic and creative treatment. When we treat, we do not wish, we know. We do not dream, we state. We do not hope, we accept. We do not pray, we announce. We do not expect something is going to happen. We believe that it has already happened. That is the power of prayer. When we are anchored and grounded, we know, we state, we accept, we announce, we believe that it's already happened when we're in that process of prayer. We are accepting our good that is already available to us in the invisible realm, stating what it is specifically that we want, and then accepting it, believing that it's already happened, and that it's just going to come to us in the perfect right time when everything is in perfect and proper alignment. I love that passage. Seeing the extraordinary all around us is living from this place of childlike wonder, awe, and possibility that we find in Christmas all year round. We live in that place always. There's a metaphysical principle that you hear every Sunday. What we focus on expands, right? What we focus on expands. And this year, rather than focusing on more of what we don't want, more of what's wrong with everything out there, and there's plenty of that, right? Rather than focusing on that, let's focus on joy and light and peace of this season and try to see the extraordinary in everything. We've talked about it in our kindness project last year in November, is to give the other person the benefit of the doubt. See the extraordinary. Imagine that they are doing the very best they can. See the extraordinary. Let's take a look at some practicing the principles this morning and see how we might seize the extraordinary in our life this week as we roll into Christmas weekend. Don't forget to sign up for Mindful Monday, which is the email that I send out on Monday mornings that gives you a recap of today's talk and the details on the practicing the principles that you can use and apply in your life all week long. Number one is become as little children. It is the holidays, and as I mentioned on Thursday evening, it's a time of reflection. It's a time of year where we do reflect on the past year, maybe more past in our lives and what's happening where we are. And recall your youth. Recall those days when you were young and experiencing Christmas, and what was your anticipation of Christmas morning? How was that of the Christmas holiday week? And how did you use your imagination? How did you pretend as a child? Was it mud pies or building forts or playing with cars or dolls or something else? How did you engage your imagination? Reactivate that part of you that believes in possibilities. And then use that same imagination to create an image of your heart's desire. Feel how you expect to feel when the conditions in your life move and change and become what it is that you seek. And then hold that image as long and as frequently as you can. Go back to it, go back to it, go back to it. As Holmes said, hold things in thought. Hold your mental pictures. Number 2, watch a movie. Watch a movie. It's the holidays. Most of us have a little extra time. Maybe you can watch a movie. If you haven't seen that Santa Claus movie, it's a good one. Or if you have, watch it again. It's kind of fun. We all have favorites. Mine's White Christmas. I love that movie. Cry every year when I see it. I know what's going to happen. I still cry. And some people like It's a Wonderful Life. Watch it every year. Whatever yours might be. Notice how you suspend your belief in that show. Anybody going to see The Matrix on the 22nd? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Notice how you suspend your beliefs or how it might trigger beliefs in you when you see that show. Notice at the end how you felt, how you used your imagination, and how you can apply this technique to suspend your beliefs, to imagine more for you. To imagine more for you. And number 3 is make your mental picture. Again, Holmes' advice on page 399.2. If you've got a science of mind at home, look that up. Make a complete mental picture of yourself as you would like to be. Complete mental picture as you would like to be. Filling in all the details of your desire and accept the whole thing as a present reality. That's your project for the next year. Hopefully it won't take that long, but I'm not sure we can get it done in a week. I'm not sure we can get it done. I'd love to hear next week if anybody did get it done all week. So decide exactly what you desire. See it vividly in your mind. Hold your focus on it every day so that it can expand in your life. Again, what we focus on expands. So that's why this focus idea is so important, because it allows the ideas that we're focusing on to expand in our lives. That also allows our consciousness to expand, right? To become the bigger vessel in order to receive this new life that we are calling forward and calling in. So this week, if you are blessed to be around the little ones, the little children, during this very magical holiday season, pause and witness life through their eyes. Just witness that magic through their eyes, that magic of believing. Experience the wonder and the awe and the possibilities that they're feeling, that energy. Pause for yourself and see Christmas, see life through the eyes of God. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year. I will not see most of you until the New Year, unless you're up with me at 5 a.m. for the meditation or on book study Tuesday night. So wishing you all just a joyous, joyous holiday. And I invite you to join me for a prayer this morning. As we go within, we recognize that God is all that there is. It's the one power, the one presence, the one life. It is infinite imagination, creation, creativity, creator, and that which is created. It is infinite love, pressed down to overflowing beyond our comprehension, unconditioned. And out of this comes creation, created of that love and imagination. And I know that I am an expression of it, created in the likeness and image of the divine, which means I am that imagination and that creativity. I am that love. And as I know that of myself, I know that for each of us gathered here today, those online and those watching later, that we are all united in this wholeness, in this oneness, this unity. That is God. That is life. There is no separation. There is only we. There is only one. And so as I anchor and just truly ground myself in the power and the magnificence of that unity, knowing that connection with each and every other being on this planet, the planet and all beyond it, I speak my word for and about each of us today, knowing, claiming, and accepting that we become as little children again, that we allow our hearts and our minds to open to that wonder and possibility and awe, not only of this holiday season, but of life itself. Life itself is so powerful and magical and special, magnificent. And we are magnificent spiritual beings within it. And so just opening to that fullest expression here and now, knowing that our imaginations may have gone dormant for a season, but they are active within us and can be reengaged easily and effortlessly as we just open and allow ourselves to connect with that divine particle of God, that divine imagination within us, and to image the life of our dreams, the perfect health, the perfect relationship, the abundant flow of cash and goodness to us, career, job, creative expression, whatever it is that is your heart's desire. Imagine it now in this moment as we hold each other in this time, just knowing our own unity with that vision, with that desire, and allowing its manifestation here. I know for anyone that has anything on their heart today, as they lift it into this prayer, we hold those beloveds as well, knowing that their prayer is made manifest as well. And it's with a grateful heart, filled with thanksgiving, joy, and lots of love, that I release this into the action of law, the activity of mind, knowing that it is already done in the mind of God, and that the word spoken is the word made manifest. I release it here and now, and we affirm this together by saying, and so it is.